Imagine waking up one morning feeling just a little slower, a little weaker, like time has taken something from you overnight. It's a quiet shift, almost unnoticeable at first. But what if I told you that rapid decline after 80 isn't just a part of aging? It's something you can prevent. The key isn't in grand changes, but in small, life-saving habits that keep you strong, sharp, and thriving. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could change everything. Let's begin. 1. Keep moving. The number one factor for longevity. I still remember the day I saw my neighbor, Evelyn, shuffle slowly to her mailbox. At 82, she had always been the picture of energy, always tending to her garden, waving at passers-by, even carrying her groceries inside without a fuss. But something had changed. When I asked if she was all right, she sighed and said, "I guess my body's just catching up with my age." That sentence haunted me. Was decline inevitable? I wasn't so sure. The truth is, that movement is the single most powerful predictor of longevity. It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about keeping your body in motion so it doesn't forget how. I once met a woman, Helen, at a local walking group. She was 88, but walked every morning, rain or shine. She told me, "My mother stopped walking in her 70s, and by 80, she needed a walker. I swore that wouldn't be me." And she was right. The moment we stop challenging our muscles, they weaken. The less we move, the less we can move. But here's the good news. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to protect your independence. A 5-minute stretch in the morning, a slow walk around the block, even standing up and sitting down a few extra times a day makes a difference. Evelyn took my advice. She started with small steps, literally. Every morning, she walked to her mailbox and back a few extra times. Then she added a lap around her garden. A month later, she was meeting friends for walks in the park. And do you know what she told me? "I feel 10 years younger." So let me ask you, when was the last time you moved just for the joy of it? 2. Engage your brain, like a muscle. It was a summer afternoon when I found my grandmother sitting by the window, staring at a crossword puzzle she had started but never finished. She was 84, and for the first time, I saw frustration on her face. "I used to be so quick with these," she muttered. "Now I forget things so easily." That moment stuck with me because I saw the fear in her eyes, the fear of losing the sharpness that had always been a part of her identity. And I understood. Our minds are just like our bodies. If we stop using them, they weaken. But here's the thing. No one tells you. Your brain craves stimulation, and it doesn't care how it gets it. Some people love puzzles and word games. Others prefer reading, storytelling, or learning a new skill. My grandmother, she rediscovered an old love, playing the piano. It was slow at first, her fingers stiff and uncertain, but every day she played a little longer. Within weeks, she was remembering songs she hadn't touched in decades. And something else changed too. She was more talkative, more engaged, more her. Science backs this up. Studies show that people who engage in mentally stimulating activities, whether it's learning, problem solving, or even deep conversations, maintain cognitive function longer than those who don't. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about keeping your brain curious. So what's something you used to love doing that you haven't in a while? A craft, a hobby, a skill? Pick it up again. It doesn't matter if you're slow at first. What matters is that you're keeping your mind alive. 3. Build a resilient body through strength and balance. A few years ago, I attended a birthday party for a dear friend who was turning 90. The room was filled with people sharing stories about her, how she had always been the first to hit the dance floor, the last to leave a dinner party, and the one who never let age define her. But what struck me most was something her granddaughter said. "I never worry about Grandma falling because she's stronger than all of us." And she was right. At 90, my friend could still get up from the floor without assistance. She could carry her groceries and stand on one foot just to prove she could. And do you know her secret? She never let her body forget how to be strong. Falls are one of the greatest risks to our independence as we age. A single fall can lead to broken bones, hospital stays, and a loss of confidence that's hard to regain. But what if I told you that you could prevent most falls just by making strength and balance a daily habit? It doesn't take much. Every morning, before you sit down with your coffee, try standing on one foot for 10 seconds. When you're watching TV, practice getting up from your chair without using your hands. A simple habit, repeated daily, builds strength that protects you. And if you think it's too late, let me tell you about Marjorie. She started strength training at 85 after a fall scared her into action. At first, she struggled with the smallest weights, but 3 months later, she was stronger than she'd been in years. She called me one day, laughing, and said, "I just opened a pickle jar by myself." I haven't done that in a decade. Strength is not just about muscles. It's about freedom, and freedom is worth working for. 4. Prioritize connection. Loneliness is more dangerous than smoking. I once knew a woman named Jean. She was the kind of person you never forgot, always the first to ask how you were, always sending handwritten notes for birthdays and holidays. But after her husband passed, something shifted. The calls became less frequent, and the notes stopped altogether. When I finally visited her, she greeted me with a smile, but something was missing in her eyes. "I just don't see the point anymore," she admitted. That broke my heart. Jean had always been the one bringing people together, yet now she felt invisible. And she's not alone. Loneliness is an epidemic, especially as we age. Studies show it's as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But here's what no one tells you. Loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected. Jean thought she had lost her purpose, but the truth was, she still had so much to give. I convinced her to join a local book club. At first, she was hesitant. "What if I don't fit in?" she asked. But a few weeks later, she called me, her voice full of excitement. I made a friend," she said, almost surprised by her joy. Human connection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's never too late to build new relationships. Call an old friend, join a group, even if it's just to listen at first. Be the one to reach out. Someone out there is waiting for your call, just as much as you're waiting for theirs. 5. Nourish your body with intentional eating. I used to believe aging was just about genetics. Some people stayed vibrant, while others seemed to shrink into themselves. Then I met Margaret. At 86, she had more energy than people half her age. When I asked her secret, she laughed. "Food is medicine, darling. What you eat decides how you feel." She wasn't talking about strict diets or denying herself the joy of a warm slice of cake. She meant she paid attention. She filled her plate with colorful vegetables, made sure she got enough protein, and drank water like it was her best friend. She enjoyed food, but she let it fuel her rather than drain her. Contrast that with another friend of mine, Linda. She had always been a light eater, preferring toast and tea to a full meal. Over time, she started feeling weaker. Her balance suffered, and she was constantly fatigued. It wasn't until her doctor told her she was malnourished, a word she never thought would apply to her, that she realized how important it was to eat enough of the right things. Margaret taught me something powerful. Food is not about restriction. It's about giving your body what it needs to thrive. Protein keeps your muscles strong. Healthy fats keep your brain sharp. And fiber keeps everything running smoothly. So the next time you make a meal, ask yourself, is this helping me feel my best? And if you've fallen into the habit of skipping meals or picking at small portions, start small. Add an extra handful of nuts, an extra spoonful of beans, or an extra glass of water to your day. Your body deserves it. Aging isn't about fading, it's about thriving, growing, and owning every beautiful moment ahead. You have more power than you think, and every small choice adds up to a stronger, sharper, and more joyful life. So tell me, what's one thing you'll start today? Drop it in the comments, and let's inspire each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. Next time, we're diving into another game-changing secret for living your best life after 70. You won't want to miss it.